I don't know if you guys can tell, but it has been hot than a mofo today. We're experiencing a heat wave here in LA, and I mean, it's more humid than anything, and there's really not a whole lot of breeze. I mean, there's some kind of breeze, but it's not very effective. But yeah, I am back. It's been about a good week plus since I last filmed a video. To be honest with you, I just kind of needed a reset break, you know, mentally, physically, and I did just that, and I feel better. I feel better than ever. So, not that anyone would notice. Well, you know, I know there's at least one person that would notice. You know who you are. But yeah, today we're going to look at a couple of different places that I found very inspirational, because with the current election on the rise and the current instability of the state in which I reside, I've been more and more infatuated with the idea of getting away from as many people as I can. So the two places we'll be looking at today are pretty much like secluded, away from it all, you know, my kind of place. So we're gonna see if I can conceive possibly living in these places. One of them is pretty much like in the middle of a rainforest, and the other place is by a body of water, which I love, and it's also secluded from pretty much everybody. So we're going to check these places out and see what it's like to actually live away from stupid ass people.
I think the main idea behind this house is about
Excellent
sensitivity
B-roll.
to forces both seen and unseen, and kind of allowing those forces to lead you in your decision making about the design of the house.
I like what I see so far. It's like a nice dirt road, or you know, like not like a traditional paved concrete road. Like this is a natural paved road, not necessarily dirt, because clearly this is green, but you have the primary structure here, and it looks like there's two additional structures. So yeah, I'm in. Design will save the world. Design will save me from having to deal with the world, as long as the design is away from it all.
My name is Jason Buensalido. I'm the Chief Design Ambassador of Buensalido Architects. We are the designers of Hill House.
It's called Hill House. I want to be on a hill away from people. Look at how many people there are not by you. It's amazing.
So the client is a landscape architect, and he wanted an escape. He wanted a home that was literal getaway place from his usual urban home in Metro Manila. And so we're at a place that's about a 3-hour drive from the city.
So this is in the Philippines.
And when he approached us, he really wanted just a simple house, low maintenance, but very relaxed,
Nice
a very
bonsai
peaceful
tree.
kind of atmosphere.
Definitely he likes his nature aspects. This is definitely along the lines of organic architecture. I am curious of how much was there as far as nature, you know, plant-wise, and how much was added.
I'm the owner of this retreat house. Jason said everything was really adapted to whatever would come to us, no? In terms of site condition, And then so we just had to adapt to the features of the hill, no? So
So it
the
is organic
stairs,
architecture.
the pathwalks were all dictated by, what was given to us by nature.
And an opportunity presented itself wherein he
Yeah, it's
was
organic
able to purchase
architecture.
this property. It's composed of hilly terrain. Majority of it is covered with vegetation, and then the topography is a little bit steeper than usual. One of the first times that we came here, we were actually supposed to put the house on the flattest area of the site because it's easier to build, and we felt that there could be more. So we kind of looked around, we walked
Did you
the
see that
property,
guy
and then we
that
saw a
wanted to
hill
be in the camera
that
so
there could
bad?
be more.
Look at this guy.
Off the site because it's easier to build, and we felt that
He's giving like a thumbs up.
there could be more. So we kind of looked around, we walked the property, and then we saw a hill. When we got to the top of the hill, that's when everything was revealed to us. The
This
views
is amazing right here. This little like sitting area. Like that's beautiful.
That's when everything was revealed to us. The views here are spectacular. And so it was really about being sensitive and hearing what nature's trying to tell you.
My landscaping is usually very, very natural. I don't like very formal gardens. I love to use a lot of ferns, a lot of palms. It was always very important for me for the landscape to be a highlight of the whole project. So that's why I requested Jason to have a lot of windows so the views can be seen from the inside.
Is there an ocean view from here, or
My favorite
Just
out
nature.
of all of the spaces is the main pavilion, which is where the living, dining, kitchen, and the hobby loft is located. And the reason for that is because this is the place where the whole family could potentially converge and connect and share meaningful experiences together and with each other.
like a Coca-Cola refrigerator got going on? I like this setup with the exposed beams and kind of like the concrete around.
The main feature of the
Like that
house
open
really
feel.
is the
Nice
Pietrechina
contrast.
on the floor of the main pavilion. The Pietrechina, I've collected this for the past maybe 20 years.
So this just must be like you come here and just hang out and have the kitchen and everything. Looks like there's no bedrooms in the structure, which is it's kind of cool. It's really a retreat, like you're getting away, like a B&B, but it belongs to you type of style, where all the living is done in separate dwellings.
When we came here for the first time, we didn't know where to go because we were in an exploration mode in the sense that we were in the process of selecting the exact site to build a house on. So in a way, we were allowing ourselves to get lost, and in every turn, there would be moments of surprise and delight as nature absolutely offers constantly and consistently. And so that's the kind of experience that we wanted to replicate. Basically, the house would be a series of maybe micro moments or unforgettable experiences that, if you put them all together, create a coherent whole. Designers, architects, homeowners, builders, developers, we have a tendency of wanting to take control, wanting to always be in control. And in the process, we end up forcing our will on a particular site, on a particular location. But what we learned in this process of letting go and letting nature take control is that sometimes it's much more balanced, much more peaceful if you simply take your cues from nature just by being sensitive to it, by hearing it, by listening to it.
So yeah, they got a lot going on. There's like a lower structure here, so I'm curious what's in there. So there's only about a minute left in the video, so there's not going to be a whole lot we get to see. But yeah, this is definitely the nucleus of like a compound, to say. Definitely, separate structures for the living. This will probably be like the main living area, as it would be facing the view. I don't know, if this is south or, west or east, because I'm not, from this particular part of the Philippines, but, well, any part of the Philippines for that matter. So, but this is clearly facing the back of the house is facing whatever the views are. So that would be the house. This would be the outdoor area, also facing the views. So this is cool. They said it was 3 hours away pretty much from the city. So I like that. I like that a lot. It would take a good amount of preparation to be self-sustaining at a property like this. It's far away from everything, having food and supplies and things like that. But yeah, this is I like the idea of this very much. There's even a body of water here. I really like this setup here. It's probably like from the primary or something. The outdoor tub, soaking tub. Look at the dog. Yeah, I like these fillings, right? Like that's what you go for. You're on for moments, especially when you're like in the middle of nature and surrounded by, wow, they got cameras set up all around the place. Definitely my kind of a house here, cameras everywhere. If you're gonna be in the middle of nowhere, still make sure that, people don't come around unannounced. Because if you're coming all the way 3 hours away from the city, you want something in a non-friendly way. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. So yeah, see how this is a bedroom and then there's like that outdoor soaking tub. So it's really just facing like trees and, more greenery and stuff like that. But this is like you just look and you just know that you are where nature intended for you to be, essentially. That is like the closest property in sight. And this is at least about 4 to 5 miles away from this property at minimum. So next we're going to look at the body of water place. Now this I'm super interested in.
Of all the places on this piece of coast,
Seascape.
this cove is the prettiest little secret spot.
Yeah, this is literally in the middle of nowhere.
The whole
Like
house looks
this is like an entire private road to get to the house. Like this is the only street to get to the house. There's literally nothing else here. This is amazing. This is the kind of living you want to do. I'm going to go on a limb and say this has got to be like one of the lands: Greenland, Iceland, Scotland, Ireland, It's one of the lands. This has to be in one of the lands. This gives me those vibes.
Down here at this tiny crescent on the beach with the surf rolling in.
And it's black sand.
It's extremely private. Nobody knows where you are. Nobody knows where they'll find you.
Hell yeah. I don't want to be found.
My name is Andrew Patterson from Patterson Associates. This is a honeymoon cottage called Seascape.
Honeymoon cottage. Oh yeah. I think I might have to try this place out, but I'm going to request a new bed and sheets. I'm sure this place is expensive. I'm gonna need you guys to have some nice fresh furniture, because yeah, I'm not trying to be honeymooning behind other people's honeymoonings. Yeah.
It sits really discreetly in this tiny cove facing into the Southern Ocean.
One way
And
in,
it's
one way
partially buried underground. It's just 2 rooms, bedroom, living room, and a bathroom.
There's only one bathroom? That's not good.
The bedroom is angled to look down onto the beach, while the living area looks directly at the comb. The bathroom area looks directly at the comb, but the outdoor fireplace looks directly at the beach. And then there's this undulating glass wall, and it's a 180-degree view of powerful waves coming in just meters away from you.
That is like a huge negative right there, because if the waves are typically, strong, you're not going to go swim in that at all. It's very dangerous, and then obviously there's like a huge amount of rocks here, and I don't care how good of a swimmer you are. Once that riptide takes you, you don't have much place to go. I mean, you might end up so far away from where you initially were. You might be bruised and battered, and then you're gonna have to walk all the way back to the cottage. And this looks, you're secluded by a cliff, a bluff. You might have to climb, scale some stuff, walk a certain way. If the water gets calm at certain days, certain times of the day, that's cool. But powerful waves, I know you use that as a description because aesthetically, when you look at it, it's like the force of the ocean. But in reality, when you want to be by a beach, you actually want to use the water. Or maybe that's just me. But yeah, swimming in this, don't do it. Go where the water is calm. Wherever the water is calm, go for that.
The cove is very remote, and most people access it by helicopter.
Damn, so this is...
But you can also...
that was the helipad right there. The helipad. So this is really like a baller type of getaway, because if they're saying they access it by helicopter, like shit. So you're spending some thousands to be at this place.
But you can also access it on a long, winding farm track. And the building doesn't try and command the cove.
Okay, so the water does get calm.
It just sits discreetly off to one side. And the cove's surrounded by these rock faces. And the intention is that the building just formed another rock face.
That water's super calm. So it does
you're
get
on
calm.
a boat, which is really the only way to see this place. The building kind of blends in to the rock escarpments surrounding the cove.
Scotland.
And it was really
Told you it was one of the lands.
love of the spot that made the building happen. So the building's designed for just 2 people, and it's just a place for them to be safe and warm. It's about the simple rituals of life of a couple: bathing, sleeping, eating, and connecting.
Sexy.
It's a really romantic place because the dolphins visit the bay nearly every day, and the breakers roll in, the storms come and go, and sometimes the air turns like crystal in a beautiful blue day and the sun beats down.
So yeah,
You can imagine a couple shipwrecked and swimming to shore and
yep. You swim.
coming here and discovering this
Swim when it's
cave
calm.
and lighting a fire on the floor and making a nice
When it's
warm
not,
bed and
get out of there.
exploring the next day. And this building tries to hark back to that very simple experience. But I think the interesting thing for me is the design is actually the plan of two smaller buildings combined. One plan has the glazing facing the combe, and one plan focuses on the beach. So what happens, these two combine, and it creates a really rich experience for people. And the wonderful thing about having a southerly view is that it's illuminated in front of you. So you're the audience looking at the view when you're looking directly south. And
It's beautiful.
This view is particularly dramatic because we are out into the seascape. So
This is like the
building
best
really
tiny house
a
I've ever
vehicle
seen.
to allow people to actually connect with nature, with the natural environment, with Mother Earth. So in this one we tried not to be influenced by things that have gone before. We really tried to grow the design directly out of the site, because if a building looks like it belongs in its location, people can relax and commune with themselves and nature. And believe me, it was a lot of love and connection to get a building on this spot. Everything for the building, all the materials, the rock, the timber, the flooring, was all taken from the site itself. Some of the only things that were imported were metal like stainless steel, but even the earthquake-proof and storm-proof steel joinery that you can see was made locally in the area. The building itself is tiny, and it's in a high earthquake zone, New Zealand being the land of earthquakes. And there was an earthquake during construction.
It's in New Zealand? I thought you said Scotland.
So the building's
I'm
got
still
an
right
almost
about it
metre
being in
thick,
one of the lands.
poured in situ concrete roof like a shield, which protects the building in case of earthquake from falling landslips and screeds. There was no way of getting a concrete truck here in this remote spot. So all of the concrete had to be mixed by hand and poured and shuttered by hand. And then the cladding on that concrete is the local rock from the farm. And it's the same rock as you can see that the actual landscape and cove is made out of. And I like the way it helps the building be part of this cove and grow out of this cove and sort of settle into this cove. So the wood is a reference to the ecology of the peninsula and what's been lost. And here we've just used it sparingly as a liner, and also as a reference to replanting and reforestation program that you can see in its infancy at the moment. The philosophy of our practice in working on sites like this is kind of a deep New Zealand philosophy that we are the children of the Sky Father and an Earth Mother, and we're the product of this conjugal embrace of sky and earth, and that makes us a natural part of the planet.
Oh, yes. Put me in the middle of nowhere, where the cows and the buffalo roam, and the deer and the antelope
And that comes
play.
with it a responsibility to look after Mother Nature and look after Mother Earth. But it also gives you confidence that we're allowed to be here, we're a natural part of the planet, and our buildings are an expression of that. So I think the biggest joy for me about the building is actually staying here. You know, I love to stay here. And it's like a cook saying, you know, they love to eat their own food, I know. And normally like a cook. Sometimes an architect doesn't, but I get a lot of joy when I've stayed here.
Hell yeah, like look where it is. It's away from everything. All you have
I'm just
is
so pleased that so many
yourself, your
couples have
thoughts.
visited this place as a way of
person
celebrating
you love in the
and
ocean.
connecting with each other and connecting with nature.
That was amazing. A little too small for me. So, the last one was definitely my favorite. Although, it is a tiny house, I'm going to need something a little bigger than that. And I'm going to need something, not near the, earthquakes and where the fault line, I would presume is, which you can imagine, especially with it being, very hilly and all these hills. Well, those things are formed because of the tectonic plates meeting each other, and thus you have earthquakes. So, definitely I understand completely why they went with the, tiny house. It would enable them to build something, really, really solid, because it's compact, and they could use some of the best materials versus building a larger house and potentially cutting corners. And when you start, cutting corners, it's bad. It's really, really bad. But yeah, the idea of being by the ocean is amazing. Maybe give me something a little higher, where it can be engineered, with very minimal amount of caissons, and I would still be happy. Even though the ocean, I'd have to, basically take an ATV down to get to the water, which is absolutely fine because I'm still in the middle of nowhere by nobody, which I love. I love that. So that would be amazing to me. Now, the first place, it's a little too jungly for me. Again, rainforesty, and while very beautiful and secluded from a lot of stuff, I just have that eerie feeling that you're gonna have a bunch of, snakes and, things that typically someone with children kind of, I don't want to necessarily have to keep an eye on them 24/7 while they're outside. And, it's kind of the thing where it's like, yeah, I still want a place where my kids can come and my grandchildren would be able to come. And, being somewhere like this place in New Zealand where you clearly see there's so much undeveloped land all around us, getting something where I could be away from, pretty much everybody. I don't care if it's 2 hours away from the city or whatever. I'm cool with that. You're like, well, what about your groceries and stuff like that? That's fine. I can make a trip into the city and make a trip back and be just away from everybody, not having to deal with people's attitudes. And that's kind of the idea for me. I don't want to be around people's attitudes. I don't want to be involved with some of the way things are now, where everybody has an opinion that they want to throw in your face because everybody has social media, versus how things used to be, which is a lot of people kept stuff to themselves, didn't try to push their political beliefs on you, which clearly you see I never have done that. And there's people that do it all the time, especially here on YouTube. The only thing that I ever say politically is this: try not to vote for who you like simply because you like them. Try to vote for, the person that's going to affect things that are important to you. That is literally what you should be voting on. Not because you like someone's character, their skin, you like their hairstyle, you like the way they smile, you think they're relatable. Don't make it about that. That's like the stupidest thing to vote based on. Vote based on what the policies are, what changes can, take place that will benefit you, your family, and make it about that. That's it. But man, that was amazing. I'm gonna look for more places like this because, like I said, one day I'm just gonna be away from everybody. You guys will never hear from me again. You'll be like, man, whatever happened to him? Well, you know, I found that place where I never want to interact with another human being that is not of my flesh or shares my flesh with me. So, yeah. Anyway, hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back for Celebrity Sunday. I have no idea who the celebrity will be, so, you know, I got some work to do. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.